Hatfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The Pistons have their first player in health and safety protocols this season. However, that new case is rookie Cade Cunningham. Will need to isolate for 10 days or return 2 negative tests before taking the floor again. The Pistons will play Miami on the road tonight. Lions quarterback Jared Goff preparing virtually for their game in Atlanta this upcoming weekend. Head coach Dan Campbell says he's using technology to stay up to speed in case he's able to test out of the COVID protocol.
It's like he's there. He's got the plan at home right now. He's looking at it, and it's kind of like when he had the flu a couple of weeks ago. You know, we had the iPad out there as the players were being called and run. So it's like he's here as much as he can be without actually being in the building. So he's preparing that way.
Campbell also saying that the coaching staff is taking more precautions to stay healthy. Jets coach Robert Saleh and Nick Sirianni of the Eagles both going onto the COVID list yesterday. If Goff is unable to go, it'll be up to Tim Boyle, the team's backup, to get back onto the field for the second time this season. He believes his coaches do have confidence in him if he needs to be out there.
Yeah, I think as I get more reps and I see my ability and it kind of changes a little bit due to my confidence in my throwing ability now that my thumb's getting better. Hopefully it changes a little bit, but kind of out of my control, so I'm going to call what you call it.
To college football, where there is technically a chance that a national champion could be named by default. That's a part of new potential actions released by the playoff committee, with COVID becoming more of an issue in recent weeks. Teams such as Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, or Cincinnati who are unable to field a squad for the New Year's game would forfeit a win to their opponent. The title game itself would allow for 4 extra days if necessary. Texas A&M recently having to pull out of the Gator Bowl versus Wake Forest due to virus issues. Reportedly, Rutgers is expected to accept an invitation to play as a substitute, a team that has not practiced in nearly a month. Last night, the Armed Forces Bowl played in Fort Worth. The Black Knights of Army defeating Missouri 24-22 with a 41-yard field goal as time expired. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Chris Villar from RC Tune to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Yesterday we did the Detroit Sports Newcomer of the Year, and the winner was Kenneth Walker, just edging AJ Hinch. Today we are going to do essentially the non-player of the year. This is the coach, the executive, the owner that deserves recognition for 2021 for what they did. And again, we have a great field of candidates. We ran out of room on Twitter mentioning them all. But for the coach, executive, owner of the year, these are some of the candidates we suggested on Twitter. And we already got more suggested. And of course, John Jansen walked out of the studio and gave us his. And it was the most Jansen answer ever.
Was it Bacon?
It was not Bacon. We did not vote Bacon as the coach, executive, or owner of the year. Solid guess by you, Kang, but that's not what he said.
Well, I think he always says you can't go wrong with bacon.
He pretty much does say that. So, I mean, some of the obvious ones, right? AJ Hinch, Tiger manager, who finished second in Newcomer of the Year yesterday, which I'm sure was a major disappointment in the Hinch household over the holidays. Steve Eisenman, Red Wing GM, for obvious reasons. That team's competing. Their drafts look very solid. We included Troy Weaver, Piston GM. They tanked appropriately. They lost at the end and got the #1 pick. And at this point, I would say we feel comfortable with who he selected. Brad Holmes, Lions GM. Okay, I mean, the book's still out. People might not like his work, but we included him on the list. Aaron Glenn, Lions defensive coordinator. Aaron Glenn is getting a lot of love these days, and deservedly so. My early read on him was reeked of credibility guy knew what he was doing, the players would follow him. And it's looking very positive. Mel Tucker, Michigan State, for obvious reasons. And the job he did, turning around that program this year. Jim Harbaugh, Michigan, for obvious reasons. And the job he did, turning around that program this year. Josh Gaddis is offensive coordinator, won the Frank Broyles Award for best assistant in the country. Mike McDonald, the defensive coordinator in Michigan. Defense was brutal last year. And look what he did with that group. And there are others. Those are the ones we could include on the text, or on the tweet, rather, because we have a limited number of characters. Who else would get love? Well, Chris Spielman, who jumped into the Detroit Lions coaching search and helped shepherd in the Holmes and Campbell era. Juwan Howard won a Big Ten last year, college basketball, took a team to the Elite Eight. Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell might be somewhat controversial in some people's minds, but Dan Campbell got votes yesterday for newcomer of the year, so some people definitely like him. So just some names we thought we'd throw out there. 248-539-9797. Who's the coach / executive of the year for Detroit / Michigan in 2021? Kang's the producer. Kang, yesterday I gave you the first crack at it. You went Kenneth Walker. It turned out to be you, the people. So, by the way, it came down to one vote. It's literally one more vote for Kenneth Walker than AJ Hinch.
Of the ones that we got to, because I know there's a ton of people that text, and
we do our best to sift through all of them. But Kang, who would you vote for here?
It's a tough one, and it's another good one because we have choices.
Yep.
We mentioned yesterday, if we did that topic maybe a year ago, it'd be scarce.
Yep.
And things have changed in a year. We are starting that build up, right? The rebuild is started for most, but now it's a build up. For this one though, non-player of the year. A lot of them out there. I mean, you got the two college coaches who did way more than we expected with Michigan and Michigan State. You have the assistants for Jim Harbaugh and Gaddis, who won the assistant of the year.
Right.
You can't leave him off the list. McDonald, a lot of people voted for him yesterday for newcomer of the year. When I talk this out, I am going to go with Harbaugh, and my tiebreaker is they're in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Mel Tucker beat him straight up. That's a true story. Okay, I cannot dispute that whatsoever. Yeah, that's confirmed. Double check plus for Mel Tucker there. But in the end, you judge it as a whole. And as a whole, Jim Harbaugh has his team with a chance to win the national title. And I think that's the trump card in all of this. As much as all these other guys have done, Iserman and the Iser plan's looking good, Weaver getting Cade Cunningham, AJ Hinch exceeding expectations. In the end, when you're playing for it all, I don't think you can do better than that, right? And that's what Jim Harbaugh has his Michigan team. So I'm going to go Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And I did not think I was going to say it at the start this year.
No, I mean, you definitely, with both these questions, you have definitely gone with who has most exceeded expectations. And Harbaugh probably did. Like, if we had predicted a year ago, who will be on this list 1 year from now? Well, we wouldn't have known Hinch. We wouldn't have thought Tucker or Harbaugh or Gaddis or McDonald. We didn't even know who the Lions defensive coordinator was. Hell, we didn't know who the GM was. It would have come down to Iserman or Troy Weaver. So, I mean, it's a lot that's gone well and exceeded expectations.
Yeah, my criteria is a combination of things. It'd be one thing if Harbaugh and they were ranked number one from start to finish and he just did what they had to do, right?
Yep.
But they weren't. And so I combined that with the fact of where they are. So that's why I chose Harbaugh.
All right, so a couple things here. 248-539-9797. I agree with you. I think it's Jim Harbaugh. And it's